But Mama, I don't want to make this video. They're gonna make fun of me. Okay. I am recording a video response, obviously, to Billy Bigun 64's video talking about your first kiss. I'm nervous talking about this. I don't know why, because that's me. If you guys know me by now, it's not very hard to make me nervous. I have never, ever told this story. It's an embarrassing story to me. It was a very awkward moment. I've told no one, not my mom, not girlfriends. Nobody has ever heard this story. And now I'm about to tell it to whoever watches this video. My 160 subscribers and Billy's over 1,000 could possibly end up watching this. Okay, so here goes. It's not a very romantic little story, really, at all. It was a very awkward, kind of embarrassing moment for me, but it was special at the same time, because I'd always been a little of a romantic, and yet at that point in my life I wasn't sure anybody was ever going to want to kiss me, so as much as I hated it, I kind of liked it too. Okay, we'll get to the story so it makes a little more sense. As a lot of people know who watched my videos, I wasn't a very happy youngster around the age of 16. Had a lot, wow, that was a whole 4 years ago, had a lot going on in my life that had me kind of messed up, but one of the places that I would go a lot was my youth group that I actually enjoyed and had friends at, and one of the few places I was actually very happy. And I had this friend, his name was Brandon, and I'm really not even sure why we were friends. We hated each other. I mean, we fought constantly, we picked on each other, we were mean to each other. I used to call him Bug, my friend Kathy, and I was like first grade, you know, when if you liked somebody you made fun of them. Kathy and I would always corner him, a bug, and he used to get so ticked off about it. Well, okay, back when I was about 16, up until I was about 17, I was very strong. I was a muscular individual, actually, quite a bit. Like, growing up as a little kid, I never hit anybody, because I was so strong. I knew that if I hit or kicked people, I would actually hurt them. My mom kind of taught me that. So I was one of the few kids in my huge family that didn't fight with my fists. You know, if we got into arguments, I was a bit more verbal, because I was a very strong young woman. I'm not really anymore. I'm kind of a wimp. Anyway, so Brandon and I got into a little competition, argument, whatever, like we always did. We'd been friends for probably 6 months at this point. I had turned 16 a couple of months earlier, and that was actually when I was first even allowed to date. And I don't remember how it started, but I think it was probably me. I think I ended up challenging him to an arm wrestle, which is kind of dumb, because he was a very muscular teenage guy, but I was used to being able to beat people, because we were just now getting into the teenage years where guys were surpassing me, and I was still a lot stronger than a lot of the guys I knew. So I ended up challenging him to an arm wrestle, because he kind of made me mad about something. I don't remember what it was. We were at church, okay? And my friend Brandon, he says, okay, so he takes me back, and me, still little Miss Innocent, into this room, because he was in the audiovisual team for my youth group. So he had access to all these little rooms. And he takes me back into this little room. He's like, okay, he says, but we have to make a bet. And I'm like, okay, what's our bet? You know, thinking, well, we don't have money. What is he going to bet? You know, he says, if I win, you have to kiss me. And I stood there. And I like, you know that feeling when you get totally surprised by something you're completely not expecting, and like all the blood drains out of your brain and you don't know what to say. So I'm standing there, I was like, and the first thing that came out of my mouth was, why? I'm 16 years old, and at that point in my life, I probably reacted more like a little 8-year-old or something. Why? And it's, well, because I like you. And that was a total shock. No idea. Yeah, I guess we flirted, but what guy likes me? So I was like, oh, okay. And so we did the arm wrestle. I actually came pretty close to beating him. And so I'm standing there. And so he kind of walks up to me. And I stood there, and I'm like shuffling my feet, and I'm like standing there totally terrified. Never kissed a guy before, never thought about kissing a guy before, never held a guy's hand before. So I'm standing there, and so he kissed me, and I stood there, still as a post, did not move. And so a couple seconds later, he kind of looks at me like, okay, and I'm like, okay. And we left the room, and didn't talk about it. I think I told him that if he told anybody I was going to kill him. And that was about the last thing we said about it for about a month. And then basically a very similar situation happened again at the group lock-in. Same idea, me just kind of standing there. Seriously, it was like a month later. And then we talked about it the next day, and we ended up going out. For about 9 months, we were in a relationship together. I don't know why, because we never talked. We're much better friends now. We actually talk now. He's in the Marines. He lives in California. But back then, I was so awkward. He called me the Ice Queen. And, you know, even when I got a little more accustomed to kissing, and I liked it. I'm the kind of person I'm very into touch, and I'm a very tactile person. But I didn't really like kissing him that often because he made me so uncomfortable because he was kind of pushy. I'll admit that. So, you know, not a very romantic little story. But yeah, that was my first kiss. It's kind of an embarrassing story, kind of silly story, but and I've only actually ever kissed 2 guys. 20 years old, only been in 2 relationships. I always like to kind of shuffle Brandon down and kind of pretend that we never dated. And I've started to feel bad about that lately now that we've been talking more. Like, maybe I should be fair to him. My first kiss with my second boyfriend, John, was a lot more of a romantic story, but maybe I'll tell that story some other time if people really want to hear it. And my last kiss was 2.5 years ago. That's not cool. No, that's fine for now until I end up meeting somebody I'm interested in. I'm kind of slow that way. But that's the story of my first kiss. Good topic. It was fun to tell, if a little embarrassing. So my second video for the day, because I just had to do a response to this, even though I really didn't want to. I will talk to everyone later.